What's going on, guys? Caleb here, Caleb's Property Maintenance. How you guys doing? What do you know? It's GIE 2021. We are just here on Wednesday in the afternoon. The show has just opened. It is sweet. First stop, you guys should have known, was right to the Walker booth. And with that, I'm just gonna really turn it over to Tom, the salesman here. He is excellent. He is top notch, and I'm just gonna let him explain some of the models that they have sitting right here on the inside floor showroom here. And I'm just gonna let him explain some of the key features and benefits, and really benefits of the Walker mower in general. And it's gonna be sweet. So make sure you guys stick around. And Tom's awesome. So give your full attention to him. You can ignore me, I don't care. Make sure you give your full attention to him. Without further ado, here's Tom.
Alright, hi everybody, I'm Tom Hoffman. I'm with Walker Manufacturing, and today we would like to share and show with you some of the benefits that the Walker mower has to offer. So first of all, the Walker mower is made in Fort Collins, Colorado, and it's shipped all over the world, but it's made solely in Colorado. A couple of the benefits. Number one is we have an out front deck here. So when you're sitting on your mower, you're able to actually see everything that you're mowing out in front of you, as well as on the sides of the mowing deck. So one of the great benefits there. Also, because the deck sits out in front of you, you can actually take the mowing deck off and put on different kinds of implements and attachments. So it's a very versatile machine. You can do snow blowers, you can do a blade, we even have brooms that you can put on these machines. So very versatile machine. Probably one of the last things that's very great for the deck out front is that you're able to actually tilt the deck up and be able to access underneath. So just by moving a few components here, you're able to lift the deck up. Able to lift the deck up, and now you can actually access down underneath the deck and be able to clean it out, take your blades off. One of the other things with this deck is that this is specifically our multi-deck, so it can do a multitude of things. You'll see here that the blades rotate in the same direction, and so then the grass will go through the chute here, up through the center of the machine and into the catcher box in the back. If you don't want to collect and you want to discharge, you can remove this side of the baffle on the deck and then be able to actually discharge out the side of the deck. So it's a great multi-use type deck that we have to offer. All right, let's go look at the rest of the machine, show you some other benefits. So another nice thing about the Walker mower is that where you sit on the machine is actually center gravity for the machine. So you're sitting right at kind of the prime spot to give you a very well balanced machine. As well as the machine is very compact, so you're able to see all around you, you're able to maneuver in and out of places. And that's done here with our different kind of steering that we have to offer. So when you ride the Walker mower, your forward motion is with the forward speed control, and then your steering is done all with the levers right here. So all you would do is pull back on the levers, and that's how you steer. So it's a very smooth, very precise steering that we have to offer here with the Walker mower. One of the other things too is that you can access the machine by raising up the body, and you're able to get to the components that you need to do maintenance. This is our blower down here, so you can actually maintain the blower if you need to. But all the grass will come through this blower, up through this chute right here, and then from this chute it'll go into the catcher box. So again, for a collection unit, that's how that system would work. We also have this new system called the TOPS system, and this is helping to circulate the oil for our transmission, so it keeps them cleaner and allows for your transmissions to last longer. Okay, and then get all the rest of the components here. This unit actually has our high dump on it, so you'll see the different kind of components here. And then if you look up here, this is where our catcher box system is in the high dump position. So you're able to raise it up, dump it into a bed of a truck, dump all your grass, and then drive back to your the location that you're mowing and keep going. So it takes about 30 seconds for that to cycle through and come back and then move on to your next thing. So, okay. ahead and close this up. Let me have you come back around to the front again one more time, just to show you then one of the other components about the decks that we have to offer. These are springs right here that help to take the weight of the deck and transfer the weight to your tires. So that allows your deck to move up and down freely and actually float over the ground and follow ground contour. So it's less scalping, but it's also more mowing and some of the little valleys and stuff that you get into. Okay, let's go ahead. I'd like to show you a couple other machines we have to offer. All right, so now we'd like to show you our residential machine. One of the other machines we showed was actually a commercial machine that we have to offer. This is our residential machine. It's called our Model R. It's got a 21 horse engine in it. And what to show you here is it's laid out very similar to the commercial machines that we have, in that the deck still sits out front. The steering and everything is the same. The only difference is that this is a non-collection machine. So the deck that is on here right now is our 54-inch rear discharge deck. Great deck. You can put a mulch baffle in it and actually make it a mulching machine if you need to as well. So let me show you just a couple of components on this machine. If you want to come around this other side. So again, if you look at the machine from here, when you're sitting on the machine, you can see out front, you can see to the side. Steering's the same. We do have an electric clutch on this one, and then we can put different components like headlights on here, and kind of some fun little things. If you go back here to the back of the machine, if you're able to open up and get inside the machine, this unit is all run by belts. So it's a belt-driven machine. The belts that drive from the engine to the deck, as well as it drives our transmissions here. So great machine. This is a lot of fun. It's got a lot of power to it and mows really, really well. And again, it's our residential machine. Okay. Some of our other machines actually have gear-driven decks, where this one's a belt-driven deck. So the benefit of having belt-driven is if, say you hit a rock or something kind of hard in the grass, the blade will actually slip on the belt rather than breaking a bunch of different components. And so that's a nice feature of having belt-driven machine. And it's a little bit quieter too as well. So, okay, so this is our Model R, our residential machine. A great machine and used very, very well in probably larger type residential units. Okay, let me show you just one couple of things from the front here. All right, so the other thing to show you on this deck is it tilts up a little bit differently than some of our other decks. You'll notice here that you need to depress this lever here, as well as this lever here. Push the deck down, and it'll kind of lock in a spot. And then if you come back up here and look at take this bar out here and be able to put it right at the front of the machine. Lock this in place. And then you're able to actually tilt the deck up, lock it down, and then here on the side, you can pull this handle out and it'll lock in here to the side of the machine. So a little bit differently than some of the other machines that we have to offer, okay? But still, the availability to tilt up your deck, be able to get underneath it and clean it out. Alright, so on our Model R, one of the other things you can do is, Model R is great for mulching or side discharge, but we also have an availability for you to put a kind of a side bagging unit on here. So if you look down here, you can get the Accelerator unit, so the company that makes the Accelerator, and put it on the side. It attaches right to the side. I'm going to come around here and show you real fast. You're able to pick it right up. It fits it right in that hole there, and it's right down. Okay, and then on the other side of the deck, we have you put a counterweight there, so that way the deck still flexes and floats and balances correctly over the terrain that you're mowing. So if you decide to mulch or side discharge without the bagging system, we suggest you take that counterweight off. But if you're going to bag, put that counterweight on because of the weight that you have over here when you collect grass. Okay.
And that's the other thing that I like about this is because I was even looking on the 48 collection.
5262s.
Where you put your feet is just such a small little spot. Where I would almost want to have the curb ramp there just so I could have my. And I'm like, I don't really need the accessory though, but this will be nice
All the way through to go from the horizontal.
So next what we'd like to show you is our new side discharge 60-inch deck, okay? This deck is made actually more for like our Model B and our Model T and our diesel type tractors. And so if you look here, the great thing about this design is that it actually has incorporated a deck lift into it. So you don't have to move any pins or anything. You're able to actually use your foot, adjust what height you would like to be at, and then be able to lower the deck to that height. Or if you're transporting it, right, and driving over something, you're able to push with your foot there, raise the deck up, and drive over the different things that you need to. So probably a couple of the things to point out here. This deck is designed very similar to some of the bigger decks that we have to offer for our Model H tractor. And so that's able to handle a lot of grass and be able to push that grass through the side discharge at a quicker and higher volume than some of our other side discharge decks that we've offered in the past. The other thing too is that this deck is actually a little bit shorter in length here, so when you go to raise the deck to tilt it up, it's actually a little bit easier to do because of the geometry here, and again the shortness of the deck from front to back. Still a very fairly heavy deck when you pick it up, but because of that it makes it easier for you to tilt that deck up, okay? And then one other thing that I know Caleb likes right here is where you can put your feet. On the footrest, lots of room for your feet. The footrest does tilt up, and then you can remove these panels here. You can remove this panel here in order to get down to the belts that run the different spindles. That way if you need to clean anything or change a belt, you're able to do that pretty easily, okay?
Yep, toolless.
Alright. And this deck does tilt up, just like all of our other decks, fairly easily. We do have a bar here in the front that you can put in the front and be able to raise your deck up. Caleb, is there anything else that you would like to know about this deck? I think we've covered most of the components.
Other than let's tip it up and look underneath.
Let's do it.
That's where all the action happens. We can talk all day about the top, but that's really meaningless. It's underneath where everything happens.
Let's do it.
It's a full combination with the new, this is a new 60-inch deck for the Model B.
Nope.
What's that?
There we go.
It is belt driven.
We'll take this bar out and
driven.
push
Wow, that pin is hard.
Yeah, you gotta
This doesn't have a gearbox.
push down and pull out.
So it's actually twisted. So
Go ahead and flip it so that the hole's on the side. Yeah, like that. Then we'll put that in there so it stays safe. Alright, now go ahead and pick it up. And where is our...
So, sorry, let's can
just
you
a
lower
minute.
it back down.
Yeah, lower it back down real
This
quick.
deck's a little bit different because prior to, you need to rotate this around and then
To get the clip up.
put it through there.
Okay,
Yep.
Go ahead.
So now you
Keep coming
you've
just
got
a little bit
access to it.
farther.
rotate that up.
And we'll lock it into place. If we can lower it down. Can you lower the deck down in there?
Sure. You actually need to go up just a little bit further. Okay. All right, keep going. Oh, it's kind of hitting there.
Oh, you got to get past the clasp. I got you.
Wait and take it and just snap it in.
We added the we added the edge stripping on there, and it's not quite letting the.
Well, I'll hold it.
So we'll hold it up here and then you
I
can look
got
underneath.
it. Go ahead, Tom, and say what you're going to say.
So, looking here again, since it's a side discharge, you notice that the blades are going to rotate the same direction and it's going to discharge all the grass out to your side. Okay, and again, different spindles, or 3 different spindles. That's why it's a belt-driven deck, right? So that way they offset a little bit to be able to give a good cut. But as well as, we actually have some different blades now that allow for the edge that to be cut. We allow for that to be a lot longer. So we're able to sharpen from here all the way down to here because we have kind of a beveled edge here. That allows for a lot longer area of surface to cut grass, and I think gives it a better cut. So we do have a baffle here, and I believe that we're working on making even a mulch baffle available to put in this this deck. So again, just a great great deck, easy to clean out, easy to take the blades off and be able to sharpen them. So, all right, that's it. Do we want to re-video that so you have it a smoother getting in? And
No, that's real life.
And
I can edit it up and shorten it up.
Laterally, the tire is stiffer because you have less sidewall because you have 4 sidewalls instead of just 2.
And we can even show dropping this down if you'd like to.
Laterally on hillside.
So adjusting it.
Yeah, theoretically, you can get the same amount of tire width on a single wide tire. But I don't know if even if our team had a wide drive tire. So I think there's some practical limitation on how wide they can really make a.
So these are some of the things that we have to offer here at Walker Manufacturing. Some of the new things, like this 60-inch deck is one of our newer things. The C23i is one of our newer things. And then the Model R, it's not brand new, but the deck, the 54-inch deck that we showed, it's a new thing we have to offer. So again, some great new items here at Walker. All right, so here we are. We're on our brand new C23i, and we're enjoying this brand new machine. It's actually kind of a redesign from our Model T, which our Model T has been our best commercial mower ever. And so if you look at this machine, it looks very much the same. A couple of things that are different. This machine is actually wider than our Model T. So it'll actually handle some of our larger decks. That'll be kind of the better thing that you want to have on it. Maybe like a 42, 48 or higher is what you can use for this deck. But everything's going to kind of do the same. The steering is all the same and how you run this machine, okay? Probably one of the main differences is that you're going to have an electric clutch on this machine versus our Model T has a manual clutch that you would pull, okay? So electric clutch here, all right? The deck will still fold up just the same as one of our other machines, okay? Let's jump off here. Let's take a look on the inside. So still, the machine still opens up just like the other ones, but if you look at the body on this one, a little bit different than our Model T. You'll notice that the chassis is actually made a little bit differently. The body is a little bit different. And our forward speed control, actually, you can get to all the components here from the inside of this machine, okay? A couple other things to point out is that the blower is a little bit different system. It's actually a bigger blower, and you're able to actually take them apart in 2 pieces, so a top half and a bottom half. And the way you do that is you would be able to remove the jack shaft right here. It actually folds up out of the way so you can get down and get to the components that are in this machine. So most of the other components are pretty much the same. We did switch the parking brake and the throttle. We put them on the different sides, but we found that's a little bit more intuitive on having the throttle now on the right side and the parking brake on the left side. Okay, let's look in the back here real fast. Let's look inside of the catcher box. Show you something I didn't show you on our other machines, but these work the same. So this is this unit right here oscillates back and forth. So when the grass is coming out of here, it'll fill up the catcher box until it gets all the way full. And when it gets full, it'll hit this little lever here, and that'll beep at you, so you know that the catcher box is full, and then you can go and dump your grass, and then go back onto your property and finish the mowing that you need to do. This is a 10 bushel catcher box, as well as you'll be able to put a 7 bushel catcher box on here if you'd like. So a 7 or a 10 bushel is what's available on this tractor, all right? Great, that's pretty much all that we have to say about the Walker mower. It's probably one of the best collection machines out there. We have lots of people who really enjoy the fact that it picks up leaves really well. It does a great job in striping. It's actually striping done naturally, no roller wheels, anything like that. It's all a natural stripe that we have to offer. So, and this machine too is just as versatile as some of the others, being able to take the deck off and put on a snowblower, a dozer blade, a couple other items that we have to offer. So again, a great machine. It's a brand new machine that we're having to offer here, and we're really enjoying that. So hope you guys enjoy the Walker mower. If you have any other questions or anything you need to ask us, you can go to walker.com and contact us, or you can actually call us at the factory and ask us any questions on our machines. All right, thanks. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Well, we're a family, an American family that had the opportunity to get in the manufacturing business back over 60 years ago. My father and mother were on a family farm with my grandpa and a couple uncles. My dad began to realize, this was in the 1950s, my dad began to realize that farming was not going to support the families, as many families, so he had to find something else to do, and that became manufacturing. The first product was a golf car. My dad didn't play golf or even care about golf, but a friend of his said, if you'll make a golf car, I'll sell them for you. So that was the beginnings of the company. There's a whole story which we tell about, but eventually we ended up in Colorado and began developing a lawnmower in 1977. It was a project that we we were doing some other contract manufacturing, so we weren't depending on the lawnmower to support the business. We started building our first prototype in 1977 out of just a personal challenge to build a better lawnmower. We had purchased a couple little mowers in the spring of '77, my dad and I. And after we tried them for a few weeks, they were not working like we thought they would on our private property. So we went to work and built our first prototype. And that summer of '77, we were mowing grass with our own little machine. We built 2 more prototypes the next 2 years, and finally, the third year, we showed the machine at a farm show, and we got enough interest to build. We came home and built 25 machines on speculation. There were no orders or anybody wanting to buy the machine. We just reached out and built the 25. It took us 2 years to build 25 machines. It took us 1 year to build 25 and then 2 years to sell the first 25 because we had no dealers or distributors back in those days. Anyway, that's how we got started in the lawn mowing equipment. We went full-time in lawnmowers when our contract came to an end to build some other things we've been manufacturing. We went full-time in lawnmowers in 1984. And looking back, we at the time couldn't see what we were doing, but it was the best opportunity we've ever had to get into the lawnmower business. And we've enjoyed a lot of good opportunity. Today, our lawnmowers have taken us around the world. We export about 1/4 of our machines are exported, and we have about 200 people in our factory. It's situated on 61 acres, so we have quite a large grassy area for test mowing. And I'm so glad. My brother and I quite often say to each other, we're so glad our parents took the risk and started the business, because if it hadn't been for them, he and I wouldn't have had the opportunity that we've had. And now we're passing the business on to our next generation. My 2 nephews, Ryan and Ted, are actually operating the company these days and leading the company. My brother and I are stepping back and letting them go ahead and take the lead, because we want to keep it as a family-owned business, and that's we're trying to do our very best to plan and make a transition happen. And so anyway, we're looking forward to see what will happen in years to come. If you'd like to hear our story or read our story in more detail, I have a book I've written, and it took me about a year to write it, but it was published in June of 2021. It's available at Amazon, either as a paperback or Audible, and it's available through Walkerware. That's our little wearable Walkerware Walkerware store that we have a website for Walker mowers. You can order a hardback, which is this book right here, and if you want to specify, I'll sign it for you, give my personal autograph. So anyway, here's the book, and for those that you read it, I hope you enjoy it and find it useful.